Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I go by the name Me, Myself, and I. Epic it was. Remember to like and share to this amazing video. But before I introduce you, I'd like to say a very big thank you for always subscribing, liking, and sharing. I really appreciate you guys so much for always doing it. I'm here with
Cornell Sexton.
Renault
Sexton.
Sexton. Sexton.
Sexton.
Hey, wow. Can you please tell us a bit about yourself?
Born in Alabama, raised in a small town in Alabama. Moved to Los Angeles as a young adult, and came into manhood in Los Angeles. Uh, I'm now retired. I work for the government in the state of California for 31 years, and I'm just retired and enjoying life in West Africa, Ghana, Accra.
Wow. Accra, Ghana. Why did you choose Accra, Ghana, and why are you here?
The peace of it, and this is where had always dreamed of retiring. And I'm in the process of building a house, so after that, I plan to do a lot more. This is going to be the base, but I'm going to be traveling all over Africa, exploring Africa, having a garden, and just making beautiful memories on the continent.
Is it your first time in Ghana?
No, I've been to Ghana maybe 5, 6 times. I've been to Kenya, Ethiopia, Togo, Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal. As of now, I've visited Ghana before. Last time I was here, I stayed 2 years in Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah, I stayed 2 years.
2 years in Ghana.
2 years in Ghana.
And now, what made you decide to stay the rest of your life here in Ghana?
A beautiful place to retire. The stress level is totally different. America is a different vibe than what I grew up in. Uh, I don't want to speak ill of my country of birth, but we we like a relationship. We grew apart.
Okay.
You know, some of the things that they advocated, I didn't quite support. A lot of the wars they entered, a lot of the way they process their food, I didn't agree with. It was just a relationship that wasn't going anywhere. So somebody had to end it. So I decided to end it.
Has Ghana changed you in a way?
Ghana has improved my health greatly. I had some health issues, but believe it or not, Ghana has improved my health greatly. I've lost quite a bit of weight. Those health issues that I had that were lingering are gone. I didn't know how I would deal with them in Ghana, but Ghana's given me a new lease on life. I'm no longer stressed. I don't have the same stressors. If if I'm stressed, it's self-induced. It's not environmental stress. So I get to enjoy life. I get to pick and choose what I want to do, and I get to live among people that don't see me as a threat. So, and I'm I'm just another African until I open my mouth. I'm just another, most people, because of my height, because of the one earring in my ear, they think I'm Nigerian. So,
Wow. Really?
yeah, a lot of people will think until I open my mouth, and then they clearly, especially Nigerians, think I'm Nigerian. So,
Nigerians think you're Nigerian.
I've had some of them come up speaking their language, and it's like, hey, I'm sorry. Because if you see Nigerians and they mimic Black American style. When I'm looking at some of them, I'm thinking they're Black Americans because they really mimic their style. I'm assuming they get it from the television, but there's some similarities in style. So a lot of times I have to watch them and I be like, okay, they're
What
Nigerian. Yeah.
What do you think about Ghanaians? Like, you stayed in Ghana for so quite long now. How many years? You said 2 years you've been, but what do you think about the
One
local?
time before I stayed 2 years. Now I've only been back for a year, but you mean the local people?
Yeah, like how do you see them and how do they treat you?
There's some good ones, and there's some bad ones, and there's some very, very honest ones, and there's some very, very dishonest ones. It also depends on the Ghanaian situation. If he's hard up, and even if you're his friend, he gonna imaginary think of a way to get money out of it. If he assumed that, it just depends. Ghanaians are as honest as their options. Uh, if they're well-to-do Ghanaians, then they're straight up and very honest. But if they're struggling and poverty is an issue, then they have to do what they have to do. I mean, I I understand some issues with the corruption, but some of it just blows my mind. Some
Like which one?
just unnecessary to the point to where it's just mind blowing. Say for instance, if somebody charged you 70,000 Ghana cedis when everybody else told you you shouldn't pay no more than 10,000 to get this done.
Okay.
Some of that stuff is like, I came from a first. I don't think people don't know that there's quite a bit of scamming in America, and the people are a lot more creative. So scamming when you see it. I think when you scam a diasporan, it's because they in that magical thinking that they're home. Africans can't do no wrong. They couldn't do this to you. They your people. That's that Pan Africa magical fairy dust that they taught a lot of Black Americans, which is so far from the truth. That's that Pan African pixie dust.
Has Pan African helped African Americans and Africans?
No. Africans don't practice Pan Africans. They don't do it in America. They don't do it in Africa. I mean, I'm being honest. They don't. It's a concept. Africans practice tribalism. They're tribal people. There's nothing wrong with that. I think the issue is the way they're using it. If they use it in a competition to develop, then that would be very, very advantageous, and it would really inspire a lot of different tribesmen to move forward. But most of the people in charge use it as a way to get in office, which is and used in a very negative way. I mean, let's be honest. Africans have never practiced Pan Africanism. They practice tribalism. It is what it is. I think if they use it in a constructive way, like I said, it's not, it's who they are. They can't go away from who they are. I mean, uh, that's their experiences, and you can't take away people's experience. They move and they're more comfortable as a tribe. They identify as a tribe. Matter of fact, they categorize each other by tribe.
So what would you like to what will you could like would do for example, like let me say if you are in charge of it, what will you do different to bring unity?
I would accept it and I would open it and I would make it more of a competition. Not in a competition in a bad way. One tribe, well, who has the most gifted people? Who has the most honest people? Who has the best artisans? Who has the best musicians? And which tribe could support their people? Because what I noticed is that it might be one tribe that don't within their circle they don't get along that well. They are more fairer to another tribe than they are their own people. I mean, seriously, everybody think just because this tribalism is stuck in that tribe. Man, I lived among people. I'm not gonna say the tribe of the same tribe, and they were going at it. But I noticed they were fair to people. I mean, when I say fair, not in the color sense, but in a justice sense. They were more honest. They were more fair dealing with people who wasn't in their tribe. But the people who were in their tribe, it was always confrontations. It was always back and forth. And so that's what I mean by that. To use it, tribalism can be used to unify. I don't think we ever looked at it that way. It can be used to unify, and if we can use it for unity, we as people from the outside always used it as a way of divide and conquer, but we can also use it as a way of to unite and conquer. It's just how we use it, and we have to come to the realization that Pan Africanism is not an African concept. It was created in the United States. Africa has to come up with their own concepts that meet their people's desires and requirements. They have thoroughly rejected Pan Africanism. If they hadn't, they would have had one Africa.
Really? So, the works of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Do you know the works of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah?
That's why I said that if they did, he presented it on the table, they rejected it. Let's just be honest, they did. I don't think they understand how. I think Africans to this day don't understand how they can solve 95% of their problems by one Africa. They would preserve their uh, currency, because now you got to look at Africa as its totality, as all the resources. See, the state I come from is one of the smallest states in the U.S., but that state is more powerful than most of the African countries, and that's just a state in America. Now, you go, America is 52 states. Imagine that's like 52 countries, because each state has a different law, has a different governor. But imagine you coming to the table like a country like Ghana, and Nana Adu trying to talk to Joe Biden, and Joe Biden sitting up with a budget, a military, and the resources that he got at hand. This is not an equal conversation. This is not. This is He is wasting his time. He's not even on an equal footing. America doesn't respect who you are. They only respect what you bring to the table. And you better be able to bring something that's violent to the table. America will never respect you. You got to be able to United Africa would immediately put the Chinese on notice, uh, Europe on notice, and the rest of the world. If to put it to you mildly, if Africans don't wake up and unite, the West will be back to recolonize them, because every time the West is falling, every time the West falls, they look to Africa to recolonize it to regain their wealth. They did it with slavery. They did it with recolonization. If you're a very profound young man with the internet, you know that now they're openly talking about recolonizing Africa.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's generally the way the West works and where Europeans work. Before they do it, they discuss it. That's so you won't be shocked when they do it. I don't think Africans understand. This ain't the time for you to be enamored by white people. This is the time for you to get your ducks in a row, because you are the future. You have the youngest people. You're either gonna be on top or the West gonna destroy you. There's no two ways to go about it. You're either gonna be the new China or the West will destroy you. And I don't think, like, Africans' expertise is tribalism. Black American expertise is racism. Africans don't understand how how much danger Africans are in. They don't get it. The West is coming back. They are not gonna be last. White people refuse to be behind black people. They are coming back, and they're coming back with vengeance. And they're talking about nobody left behind, meaning nobody gets to live in that.
So, what do you think we can do to stop that, or what do you think we can let the Africans in the diaspora, Africans within Africa, like to spread the news like this?
Well, it's not going to work. Colonization did such a job on Africans, to where an African is an African family is most proudest when you bring a white person home to marry. I mean, we've been figured that out. I figured that out when I was here in the '90s. That they haven't dealt with the mental shackles of colonialism, and they don't know that they're being set up for the recolonization. So if they was to teach African history, very few African countries even teach history. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So Africa has been repeating the same thing that they've been doing, worshiping their oppressor. And it's gonna come a time to where you're gonna either have to be African, and that means every African, or you won't exist. It's just gonna happen because the European world will not exist under you. They just mentally they can't handle it. If you rise above them, they can't handle it. If you don't get in position to be able to defend yourself, you'll be recolonized, but it'll be in a more violent way.
Wow. So let me say, in terms of your experience in Ghana, what can you tell us the experience in Ghana that has really brought a peace of mind to yourself and to your family?
Basically, it's like the the way Ghanaians move, but it's also reminiscent of the lifestyle that Ghanaians live. They kind of force you to stop, slow down, enjoy life. They don't have this fast pace. We gonna do this. No, Ghanaians is like, I mean, when I first got here, I get on the phone and I'll be talking to one of my workers and I'll be talking about the project and they'll be like, "Good morning, sir. Uh, how was your day, sir?" And they will always bring me back to, "Hey, look, we greet here. This is like what you're doing is not as important as acknowledging the human being on the other line."
Okay.
So that the human part of it reintroduce you to the importance of everyday human beings, everyday people.